of the Perek Lamed Zayin, the 37th chapter of the book of Tehillim, is a chapter that's not as well known, as we were just saying, as many of the other chapters in these parts. It's a lengthy chapter, so let's get started. LeDavid, so as usual, of David. Al titchar bamreim, al tikhaneh ba'osei avla. So don't get upset. Don't vex yourself on account of those who do evil. Don't be envious of those who are oseh avla, who commit sins. And we'll see that the first part of this is sort of an introduction, and that we should trust in God. And right, don't be envious of sinners. Things might seem okay for them at this moment for whatever they're doing, but that doesn't mean it's going to remain that way. That's for right now. Ki kechatzir mahera yimalu uchiyerek desha yibolu. For they will quickly wither like grass and will dry up like herbs. Trust in God and do good. And then what will happen? You will dwell in the land and you will remain there. And you will remain there, and you'll be able to sort of support yourself and sustain yourself if you listen to God. So don't be envious of the sinners, even though sometimes it seems that things are good for them. And delight in God, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Gol al Adonai darkecho v'tachalav v'hu ya'aseh. Point your way to God and trust in God, that the things that you desire, that God will bring to pass. And your righteousness will be brought forth just like the light, and your judgment like Saharayim, like the noon. So the light is coming, your righteousness will come forth like a sunrise, and the judgment's going to be the noon, which is sort of the hottest, the sunniest, as it were, part of the day. So it's going to be more and more well known. Dom ladonai v'hit cholel lo al titchar b'matzliach darko b'ish oseh mizimot. So wait in silence and hope for God, and don't get upset because the wicked prosper. Right? Don't be upset that they prosper while the righteous seemingly are being left out. Don't just let it be for now. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. You just have to wait it out a little bit sometimes. Haref me'ach v'azav chema al titchar achlara. So don't be angry. And don't act with wrath. And again, don't be upset over and over again. Al titchar is we've had 3 times already in this chapter. Don't vex yourself. Don't get upset because of those who only do evil. Ki, we're in verse 9, pasuk tet, mireim yikaretun v'kovei Adonai hema yirshu aretz, because the evildoers will be cut off, and those who wait for God will inherit the earth. So I don't know if those who wait for God are the meek. Judaism doesn't believe the meek will inherit the earth. Those who will inherit the earth, and by earth I assume that, at least according to rabbinic tradition, it means the world to come. That they will be the ones who ultimately win out. Might not be right now. Yerusha, the inheritance, is something you have to wait for. It's not something that comes so soon. So it might take some time. Continuing pasuk Yud, and that's what said, V'od ma'at v'ein rasha v'hitbonanta al mikomo v'einenu. Because just in a little bit of time, wickedness will cease. There will not be any more wicked. And you will look at his place, and he won't be there. Right? He seems like he's invincible. Everything is perfect for this wicked person. And then you'll look back, and he's gone like that. The anavim yirshu aretz. And here we have the poor will inherit the earth. V'hitangu al rov shalom, and they will delight themselves in the abundance of peace. So those who are humble, those who are poor, those who are not benefiting and gaining greatly from the ill plots and wickedness, ultimately those will be the people who are there. And when those people are the ones who remain, then there will be peace, there'll be shalom, because you're not going to have peace when it's the wicked who are the ones who are in charge. Continuing verse 12, Domeim rasha latzadik v'chorek alav The wicked man plots against the righteous and grinds his teeth against him. Right, so he's he's happy, and he's smiling, and he's sort of like plotting, putting his teeth together in this way. Okay, and he thinks that all of his terrible plots are going to go in the way that they want. However, Adonai yischak lo ki ra'a ki avo yomo. This is pasuk Yud Gimel 13. God will laugh at this person because God sees that the day is coming. Cherev patchu rishaim the darchu kashatam. The wicked have drawn the sword. They have their bow ready. They're ready to attack. To attack the poor, to attack the needy. To slaughter those who walk in a regular path, those who are upright, those who go yashar, those who don't veer from the path of goodness in life. The wicked are ready. They're waiting, as we've had that described many times in the even yesterday's chapter, where they were in the excuse me, it was 2 days ago, in the pit and waiting and ready. And David says they're going to fall into the pit themselves, the pit that they have prepared for me. Charbam tavo v'libam v'kas kotam tishavarna. The sword will enter their own heart, and their bows will be broken. Tov ma'at l'tzadik me'amon risha'im rabim. The little that the righteous man has is better than the wealth of many wicked men. So you might not have a lot, but hopefully if you're righteous, then you're content, you're happy with what you have, is one of the way the commentaries seem to explain it here as being great. So the wicked always want more. You can never have enough. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. It always shocked me when I would hear these stories of the Wall Street titans, and I guess that's what they live for. And they're like 95 years old, and they're trying to oust the CEO of the company because got to make another $60 million or whatever, which I don't understand if you're 95 years old and you have $10 billion or whatever, but that's what they love to do, and I guess that's what keeps them alive. But the lack of to me, and I have a very different perspective, I guess, on life, where it's not so easy always to be happy with what you have. There's a reason why it's said over and over again of our tradition, right? If we weren't told it so many times, then right, it would be something that was so super obvious. And then obviously many amongst the Aser and Hadibrot not to covet, but there's a point, you have to be happy with what you have, and he's saying that's a mark of being a tzaddik here. Continuing verse 17, because the arms of the wicked will be broken, but God supports the righteous. Yodea, we're in 18. God knows the days of the innocent, and that their inheritance will be forever. God protects them. God sees that it's going to be right. It's going to be days. It's going to be yom. It's not going to be laila. It's not going to be a time of struggle, and it will remain for them forever. Lo yevoshu be'et ra'a uvimei re'avon yispa'u. They will not be disappointed in the evil time. In the days of famine, they will be satisfied. Right. So the innocent, you think things are not great for them, but they won't have this complete steep downfall. They'll remain with what they have and what they're supposed to have, and things will be okay. It's not this what we're being told is going to happen to the wicked, who today it seems that everything is smiling upon them and their plots and their plans and everything that they are trying to do, but it won't remain that way forever. And so we continue here. Hirishaim yovedu ve'oivai Adonai yakar karim kalu ve'ashan kalu. This was pasuk chaf. Excuse me. The wicked will perish. The enemy of God will perish like the splendor of the pastures. Right, when they've got a good stuff in the pasture, the yakar, then right the farmer comes and he harvests it. He takes it. So it's going to be gone, whether it be the farmer who comes and harvests it, whether the animals, they come and they take it away, but he's not going to last. It will be consumed. Kulo ve'ashan kalu. will be consumed in smoke, not just by the farmer, but even in a bad way. Lo verasha v'lo yishalem v'tzadik honein v'notein. The wicked borrows but doesn't pay back, but the righteous gives with grace. And this is a challenge. I don't know about you all, but I have somebody comes to my door collecting stuck-up. We probably have less of the people who come from Israel and come regularly to Denver than they do to the DC area. And you're probably going to give them the same amount before they tell you what it is that they're collecting for. But the question is, how do you go about treating them? Are you going to do it with chen? Are you going to do it in a way with kindness, or are you going to do it in a way that's not so kind? And that seems to be here one of the ways difference between the wicked and the righteous. Ki mivarchav, we're in verse 22, pasuk of that. Ki mivarchav yirshu aretz umekulo lav yikaretu. For those who are blessed by God will inherit the earth, but those who are cursed by Him will be cut off. The steps of man are, who's underneath those steps of man is God, and God will help him to step it, to go the right way. He's not going to falter. We're in 24. Lo yutal ki Adonai somech yado, because if he falls, he will not fall down. God will support his hands. Na'ar hayiti gam zakanti v'lo ra'iti tzadik ne'ezav v'zaro mivakesh lachem. Most well-known verse that we have in this chapter, of course, Birkat HaMazon. Every day I was young man and I've grown old, but I have not seen a righteous man who God has left and is begging for bread, who does not have enough. We don't see that. That's not something that occurs in this world. I think I've pointed out, and I've heard before that Chabad does not say this verse in Birkat HaMazon, because after, was it the Alter Rebbe, or maybe Shmuel knows and can verify, one of the Chabad Rebbes, early ones, was put into jail, that they don't say this anymore because they can't sort of say that it rings true, because, well, maybe the Mishorer, and maybe David has never seen that. They have, but that's what I've heard. I don't know 100% if that's the truth, but so I've been told, and I've only run into 500 Chabad rabbis in my life and never asked any of them. Continuing in verse 26, all day he lends compassionately, and his seed is blessed. And right, if you think part of what was talking about earlier is a famine, a potential famine, here we have the righteous person is still lending, is still giving, is still. Excuse me for a half a second. School is over, as you can probably realize. Where were we? We were up to a very good verse, verse 27. Sur meirav aseh tov ushchon leolam. Right? Sur meirav, turn away from evil and do good. A verse that's words that are very well known. We've cited them in different contexts, many different ways, and you will dwell forever. So, right, first stay away from the wicked, and then do what is good. And why will you live forever? Because God loves justice. God does not abandon the righteous. The righteous remain forever protected, but the wicked, but the wicked will be cut off. Sadikim Yershu Aretz v'yishkenu la'ad aleha. Verse that we words that we have in different places, right? That the righteous will inherit the earth, and will dwell on it forever. The mouth of God utters wisdom, and his tongue is full of justice. Torah Elohav bilibo lo tim'ad ashurav. God's laws, God's Torah, God's instruction is in his heart, and therefore he will not falter. He will not fall. He will remain. He will remain strong. So the wicked man watches for the righteous and seeks to kill him, wants to see the end of righteousness. God will not abandon the righteous person and just let the wicked condemn the righteous. This was verse 34. So again, we had before to wait, and here again, wait for God. Kaveh can mean wait. It can also mean hope. Wait, hoping, wait and hope for God to keep his way, and then God will raise you up. And it's referring obviously to the righteous one, and you will inherit the earth while the wicked is cut off. And then the last word in that verse 34, tirah, you'll see it. And it's something we've had this contrast now 3 or 4 times already. The righteous inherit, the wicked being cut off. Ra'iti rasha aritzu mit are ke'ezrach ra'anan. I've seen the wicked man inspiring fear and taking root like a green tree. Vaya'avor v'hinei einenu va'avakshehu v'lo nimsa. It merely passed, right? So the wicked man, everything seems fine. It was a passing fade. It was something that was there. It was the grass was green, and then it quickly it withered. Or the shape that we had in the chapter, I believe 2 days ago, where David was talking about protection, and eventually the people who attacked him, that God shielded him from with multiple shields, and he chased them away. They were described as being shape that's blown away in the wind and can't gather back together. Can't find him anymore. Shmor tam ure'eh yashar ki acharit li'ish shalom. This is verse 37. So preserve innocence, and behold, you'll see straight behavior, righteousness, for there is a future for the man of peace. The man of, whether peace here means, between countries, the man who's peaceful of himself, the man who's bringing about peace by lending and helping others who are in need. All, I think we can look at understanding that in all those different ways. Ufoshim, verse 38, Nish medu yachdav acharit rishaim nichreta. But the wicked will be destroyed. The future of the wicked, again, karet, will be cut off. But God's salvation, the salvation of the righteous, comes from God, and he will be their fortress, their strength, or their refuge in a time of trouble. God helps them. God saves them. He saves them from the wicked. He delivers them because they take refuge in God. You take refuge in God, and God will show you that protection. This is one of many chapters, and we talked about it. David, what's the background? What's the reason? This is when he's running away from Shaul. Is this when he's running from Avshalom? Is this at some other point in time in his life and in his history? It's unclear when exactly it is, but it's the everyman, it's the every woman. All of us go through times of struggle. All of us go through issues. And so, it may have been a specific time in his life that he wrote, a specific time that and reference and wicked is pervasive and all around. But we know that it's not something, unfortunately, which is only in his generation, but applies to many other generations as well.